This game is over! Home run course, punch your ticket, Mike Zunino, for the second straight year.
You are tuned into Auto Talk. I'm Mike Flont. I got my guy C with me.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's been an interesting week.
It's been a great week.
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into a bunch of it. It's really turned into summer here in Seattle, and as the weather's heated up, so have our Mariners. As we're getting into the final stretch here. How you feeling about it? You know, last night them beating the Angels felt good, especially after we kind of lost the first one and the last one of the series before. What do you think, C?
You know, I'm feeling great about the Mariners, and I was at the Jean Segura Fest yesterday, going in Safeco Field. All the fans showed up, and it was an incredible feeling seeing the city supporting our players. They're buying into the culture. They're buying into the team. Yeah, you know what? Like, the way the fans showed up, it was more than just a vote. It was more than just going into the All-Star game. It was their way of saying, we got you guys back. The city got you guys back. Just like in 2013 when the Seahawks were on the rise, the city had
they really did. You know, everybody came to his aid. You know, all the players were going hard. You've seen it all over social media, and I think that it ended up being a nice warm moment for the city, for Jean Segura. You know, Seattle's feeling like home for him now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And what's crazy is the All-Stars that we have in there, we have a few players that are on our roster that could have potentially been All-Stars this year. James Paxton, he's very deserving.
Yep.
If he didn't have those couple bad starts, kind of upped his ERA, he could have been in there. Kyle Seager in any other year.
So let me ask you this. Going forward, what do we need to get out of this rotation the rest of the way? What do you think needs to happen before this trade deadline or before the end of the season for us to be extremely competitive?
We just need to essentially continue what we're doing, maintain the level that we're at. Because at the beginning of the year, we didn't think Marco Gonzalez was going to be this good. We didn't think LeBlanc was going to be this good.
Let's do this hypothetical. If we were to get into the playoffs, how would you feel about a Paxton, Gonzalez, and then whoever would be the number 3 starter? How do you feel against them going against the best of the best?
I don't like it. I would not go into it feeling confident because Paxton's the only one that you can really depend on to dominate.
Except for Gonzalez has been the only one who's really been dominating.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like we don't know what Marco Gonzalez is capable of when the lights are really bright.
It's true.
When Stanton's up there, when Mookie Betts is up there, when the best of the best is at the plate, 7th inning, you're tired, bases are loaded, or 2 guys are on. We've seen that happen with David Justice taking his yard for 3 runs. You know, we've seen that happen so many times in the playoffs, and it's hard to trust someone that doesn't have a track record.
So do we have any chance of catching Houston?
I don't want to say I give up, but it's like I'm looking at the Warriors. It's the Warriors of baseball because they have everything in the offensive lineup, and they have one of the best starting rotations in the past 20 years. And their bullpen is pretty sick, too. It's hard for us to be able to catch up just because we're in that mindset of being a Seattle Mariner fan. Like, we've always come up short. The years that we've had a chance to make the playoffs, we've come up short. So I don't want to settle just for a consolation prize and just make it to the wild card. But at this point, we got to be able to fend off the Oakland Athletics because we thought they were out of the race. We thought it was going to be a 3-man race with the Angels, Astros, and the Mariners. And when the Angels started dropping off, we were like, whew, we got this. We're in the wild card. We got this sealed. We're in the playoffs. Start popping balloons, start hitting piñatas, popping champagne, you know what I mean? But here come the Oakland A's. And if you guys know, back in the days when we were still good, that was our arch rival.
That's true.
Every year we were winning 90-plus games. The year that we won 116, they won 103. They were winning 100 games for multiple years in a row. They had Miguel Tejada, Jason Giambi. They had the big 3, the original big 3, Mark Hudson, Tim Hudson, and Barry Zito. Those guys were just dominant.
Moneyball,
Billy Bean. We hate him, but he's kind of like the Bill Belichick of that sport. Like, he just found a system. He found a way to make it work, and everyone's copying him.
We'll see what happens with Oakland because I feel like it's the Wild Wild West right now. You don't know who's gonna be coming up, and I know the Mariners. They're trying to catch Houston, but they got to watch who's coming up on their heels because any given night against an AL West team, except for maybe Texas, you can lose. You can get snuck up on. Man, we kind of got into talking about Marco Gonzalez and what he's done for the staff. Man, he's been crazy dominant. 10 wins.
Yeah.
What do you think about him going forward?
I love what Marco Gonzalez has to offer because, like I said, he's been dominant in the games that he's been on. Those 7 games that he's had 1 run or less. You can't say that out of Paxton. You can't say that out of Felix or Leak. I don't think there's a lot of starters in the game that has done that. 7 games, 7 starts where he's given up 1 or less runs. 5 of those, I believe, where he had given up 0. So with Paxton being inconsistent lately, he's been our ace this past month, stepping up.
That's true. That's very true. I'm looking forward to seeing him go the rest of the way. I mean, you never know. He could finish with 17, 18 wins this year.
Yeah, no, he certainly can with the way our offense is playing. I think every pitcher that is going to have 33, 35 starts in our rotation, they're going to win at least 15. Given the way that we're winning, because we're going to win over 100 games.
Think so?
I think we're going to win over 100 games.
We're going to have to stay healthy to do it.
Yeah, I mean, barring a serious injury where we lose somebody, we're getting Robbie back. That's the biggest trade deadline pickup anyone can have.
That's very true.
You're picking up Robinson Cano, future Hall of Famer, who's not in his prime anymore, but he's still playing really well.
Still hits 300.
Still going to hit 300. Still going to give you 20 to 25. And if you can find his subscription to the steroids again, he can get back up to 37. A year he had 37 for us. I mean, we're going to have that big boost from Robbie Cano. Our offense is going to be dangerous because now we're not going to have to worry about that black hole in the 9th spot. We're going to have every guy filled from 1 to 9. They can either hit for power, hit for average, or they're fast.
Is Dee going to move back to the outfield?
Unfortunately, he's going to have to. And I had a talk with a friend saying how that might mess up Dee's defensive ability, just having to switch back and forth, having gotten used to second base.
Man, he's a baseball player. He'll be fine.
That's what I thought too. And given the value that you can get from Robinson Cano's bat, whatever defensive liability or whatever defensive loss you get from moving out D to center field, you'll take it. That's Robbie Cano.
Well, and for real, and whoever has to sit out, like if you had to play Dee Gordon in the left field for him to get used to being back in the outfield first, then you sit down whoever has to sit down, and you'd much rather have that Robinson Cano in the lineup than not.
For sure. And given Dee Gordon's speed and his athleticism, even when he's not making the right reads, he's fast enough to be able to catch up to the ball.